and this is my presentation about Pakistan. I have titled it Pakistan Back to the Future because I thought that'd be fancy. As you can see, I did a little editing here, made a cool little picture for you. It's pretty cool if I have to say. Alright, Pakistan, the facts. So, Pakistan has an unstable government with a big history of changing around. That's what vacillation means. It goes back and forth. They don't really know who they are. They don't have a really good identity. Alright, second off, we got an uneducated youth, and the youth in Pakistan, the culture is to rely on the decisions of their elders. So they're not making a lot of decisions, and that's going to be a problem coming up. Thirdly, there's a high rate of violent death and a high rate of infectious disease. These are problems for any country. And the problem isn't so much that there's a high rate of death and disease, it's that the government is ineffective in stopping these things. The government can't do much to change that. And then last of all, it's antagonized on the world stage by neighboring countries such as Afghanistan and India, and friends such as the U.S. Continue to be a little hard on it. Alright, leadership. I spent a lot of time on leadership because I think that's the most important part of any country and the development of that country is who's in charge, who's leading, who's making the decisions. So in the leadership of Pakistan, we have a history of violent takeovers and military coups. In total, there have been 3 successful military coups in total. There have been countless attempts, but 3 really come to mind. The 3 generals, Ayub Khan, Zia, and Musharraf, have all been successful to varying degrees. And Musharraf wasn't so bad of a guy in the end, but still, I don't think it's a positive thing that the military is able to take over the country so easily. So who's really in charge right now in Pakistan? Well, it's not President Zardari. He was reduced to a figurehead by the 18th Amendment, and he really can't do much at the present time. And there's a temporary prime minister, Kozo. He holds the most power, but elections are in May, so things are sort of up in the air right now. The one sort of bright, shining figure in all of this, and all of the leadership in Pakistan, is Supreme Justice Chaudhry, who holds a significant amount of power in his position, and we've seen through our studies of the lawyers and such that he has the ability to make positive decisions, and he can be a force for change in Pakistan, and he can change things and move things along in a positive way. So, in conclusion, power's kind of up in the air in Pakistan right now, and that is dangerous because it leaves a perfect opportunity for the military or for the Taliban to make a play, a power play. Also, the government is stagnant and ineffective right now, and that leaves many people homeless, dying, and causes violence across the land, because the problem with the government in Pakistan right now isn't that it's actively making evil decisions, that it's doing things that are wrong. It's a lack of action, I think, that is the real problem. Because the government of Pakistan isn't effective, because it's so stagnant, nothing's really happening to change these problems. So, 2 questions. Will the people rise up against this apathetic leadership, or will another source of power develop? I think these are the 2 directions that we're headed. Alright, the war on terror is, you can't ignore that, and you can't ignore the amount of impact that has had on Pakistan as a country. It's cost the state about $60 billion. Now, billion, that's a big number, if you'll notice. And so that's been a real blow to the economy of Pakistan. And it's resulted in about 3 million displacements, those added to those displaced by the 2010 flood. That's a significant minority of Pakistanis who are without a home. And when you're without a home, it can be difficult to work, and it can be difficult to care about anything politically. I mean, you're just trying to get shelter over your head. And so you're not making political change. You don't really care what's going on with the government. And thousands of casualties, of course. It's unacceptable. And it's been very unpopular in the eyes of the Pakistani people, and it's caused them to have a lot of mistrust of the U.S. and countries like us. And this could be a blow that Pakistan cannot recover from. It's a big deal. The youth of Pakistan, I think, personally, I think that's the most important part of what's going to happen. Literacy is about 50% right now, so I mean, it's heads or tails if you can read or not, and I think that's a huge problem, because if you can't read the newspaper, if you can't read what's going on online and stuff, then you have no say, you have no opinion in what's happening, and you can't be a force for change. And I think that for real change to happen in Pakistan, the youth need to take responsibility for what's going on. I'm using Jing right now, and it's about to run out. Hold up a sec, I'm going to go on. Okay, so back to the youth of Pakistan. The education budget accounts for only a small part of the government's budget, so that's not really a big deal in Pakistan, is school and the learning of the youth. And I think that the youth in Pakistan face a similar problem to what we have here in the States. Over here in the States, we have a big apathy for what's going on. We just don't really care what the situation is. And we don't really have a will to change. And I think that it's similar in Pakistan because they lack education about the situation and they lack knowledge of what they can do and the power that they do have to make a change. So Pakistan and the people that live in Pakistan are a people displaced. Displacement is an enormous problem in Pakistan. It's the result of the War of Terror and the flood of 2010. And this problem hasn't received worldwide attention because it seems less serious in depth, but it's actually quite serious because this results in the stagnation of the economy, and it's going to slow the change that Pakistan needs. And if that change is slow to come, then more violence might erupt. Pakistan is also a country at odds. It's on edge politically. Its only real friend is the U.S., and we're really just in it for our own interests at the end of the day. And it has a lot of problems with its neighbors, India and Afghanistan, over borders, the control of borders, the flow of people, bombs, nuclear warfare, and just general bloodshed around that area. It's a disputed area. I mean, you can't even really draw lines around these countries. It's more of just a blob of coagulated blood at this point. Pakistan is seen as a problem child from the perspective of the world, and so it doesn't get a lot of help and aid from other nations because they just think that nothing you can do can change Pakistan, which isn't true. There is hope for Pakistan, and I think that the hope for Pakistan lies in the people. Clearly, those in charge are not going to take responsibility for what's going on. Though it may have dangerous effects, the best hope for Pakistan might come in groups like the military or the Taliban, which, I mean, that's scary and that's horrible, and those groups have the propensity to make bad decisions and to do evil things. But the thing is, those factions would be decisive and would create change. It wouldn't stagnate as the parliamentary democracy is right now in Pakistan. And I think the other option is if a significant portion of the people ignite a rebellion and a protest and have a public will to change. We can see this happening in events such as the Arab Spring, which is just a couple of years ago. And I think it was a shame that that didn't spread to Pakistan. But I think that the problem in Pakistan is that the people are apathetic. They're just trying to deal with what's going on in their everyday lives, and they don't really care about a big, large-scale change. And then we can always remember that Al Jinnah and his success remain fresh in the minds of the people and of the world. And we can clearly see from what he's done that it's possible for Pakistan to grow and to have success. And statistically, Pakistan can improve. Sanitary water is available the most, violence is decreasing, GDP is improving. I mean, all across the board, Pakistan has been improving. So it's clear that that's a possibility. So, verdict-wise, I think that the stagnation in Pakistan will continue until one of three options happens. The least likely is that outside forces step in to make the change. I don't think that anybody wants to deal with Pakistan. I don't think that anybody wants to take that responsibility. The most likely situation that I think is a military or Taliban takeover, because those organizations, those factions, have the ability to really act. And though this may be good or bad, they at least will be decisive. And then the least likely, but the one I'm most hopeful for, is a popular revolt and the establishment of a working democracy, which I think would be beautiful and would solve a lot of the problems that Pakistan has. So why does this matter? Well, whoever controls the country of Pakistan controls its military and nuclear capabilities, which could be a worldwide threat. And the people of Pakistan come from a culture that is famed for its innovation and intellect. They used to be Japan in the old world, basically. And then finally, as children of God, we want our brothers and sisters to live in harmony with each other and with us. We want them to be happy at the end of the day. So these are my sources right here. Pretty comprehensive. The best one, the CIA World Factbook. There's tons of great stuff in there. And I couldn't resist doing another MS Paint drawing. So there you go. All right, thank you.